you go.
Papers,
Good. Well, we got a bong here if you want to light up there.
Awesome. I brought my fucking handy little pipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. So I'll sneak past you
Oh
here.
yeah, totally.
I've got too much firewood in here right now.
On in.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
Thanks for coming, man. Freaking love to have you here. Thanks for coming.
This is exciting.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Okay. So here we are, everybody, again for another episode of Canadian Talk, episode 7. We're here with Dusty from Bad Ideas, Good Stories.
You got
Good Stories, Bad Ideas. Brought him in here because I loved his podcast. You know, the studio's leaking today. We got crazy, shitty weather. Nothing's going right. But we're here, right? Woo!
Well, it's funny when you mention, like, you're like, well, the weather kind of sucks today. Do you want to do it on a nicer night? And I'm like,
yeah,
fucking indoors, right? What are you talking about?
It's indoors, baby.
I get it, yeah. Okay,
you didn't know that. You didn't realize my shack leaked.
Yeah, no, I appreciate this, though. It's actually quite cozy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
fire cam is an excellent idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry I had to reschedule on you the first time. I told the story actually on my episode 5 podcast. I woke up in the morning, shit my pants. Just like, what? What just happened?
Like, not metaphorically shit your pants, like physically literally shit
wake
your
up,
pants.
running to the bathroom, sprinting in the nude to the bathroom. All of a sudden, whoo, just leaving trails.
Yeah. Oh my fuck. That's
it was rough. It was rough.
A nightmare.
So you have a podcast here in the city, which there is none of. So I wanted to start with that. I absolutely love it. You talk with your buddy there, Dusty and Pat.
Yep.
Both of you. I love Pat. Too bad he couldn't come. I can see why you have him as a partner on your show, because man, can he riff.
He's a nice balance for me.
Yeah, he's smart. He's smart.
He's an intelligent dude, and he likes to read, and I like to fuck around. You know,
yep.
It's like it's a nice balance. And yeah, we both kind of. I think we both kind of keep each other honest. Like, we've been friends for quite a few years, and it's funny in like our group of our kind of circle of friends. It's like we're the ones who can keep the other one in check. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, I've never really seen anybody operate with Pat the way you do, and I've never really ever seen anybody operate with Dusty the way you do, Pat. Like, so it's a good fit. It was like fucking brothers that just spent like 20 years apart and then eventually met up.
Yeah.
And his brother Graham is like legitimately one of my favorite people in the entire world. Every chance I get to see him, I'm always like, fuck yeah, this is a good day.
How long have you guys known each other for?
Let me think here. I guess I've known Pat probably 16, 17 years or so.
17 years.
So, yeah, like he grew up in Saskatoon, so he's got lots of ties to people here.
And you grew up in that small town.
Yeah, Carrot River.
Carrot River, yeah.
What?
Cool. Yep. Shout out to the Carrot River.
Yeah, Carrot River, Saskatchewan.
So how did you guys meet each other?
Punk rock.
Punk rock?
He had a little shop called Johnny Rumble. It sold like punk and rockabilly kind of like paraphernalia, along with his little tattoo shop. And when I first come to the city, I just remember going in there and like buying shit. And then a buddy and I had started a little skateboard company for a bit. Cool. And our thing was like we knew it was going to be kind of niche and small. We weren't expecting it to be a big thing. So we're like, well, let's sell in places where it's like when you go into I love going into a skate shop and buying CDs. You know what I mean? I go to buy a skateboard and I'm like, oh fuck, it's sweet punk rock, you know? Or if I'm going into a music store and somebody's got a skateboard on the wall, and maybe it's even kind of like graphically it's about music or fucking whatever, I guess. That might be something I'm gonna snag, you know? So that's kind of the thing. Like, let's put these in places where you normally wouldn't. And Pat was down with that. He didn't sell skateboards. He was like, oh fuck, I'll throw some skateboards up on the wall.
How old were you when you started listening to punk rock?
Oh, 13.
13?
First time
what was your first band you listened to? Who's your favorite?
The first song I ever heard that I was like, oh fuck, I need to know more about this was Linoleum by NoFX. It was the first song on Punk and Drum. I remember this day vividly, actually. I was at my grandpa's place, and I was with my mom's stepbrother, I guess, and he was just a couple years older than me, because it was big gap in grandpa and the new wife's the age, you know, and then she had younger kids and shit. So like I had an aunt that was younger than me by a couple of years, which was odd. But anyway, so I remember him.
Super weird.
I remember him putting this tape in, and then like just that first part of Linoleum, I'm like, oh my fuck, like I need this, you know. And like I'd been getting into like harder music, you know, because I grew up on like rock and roll.
Did you play any sports?
Well, I played ball and hockey when I was a kid.
Ball and hockey.
Yeah.
How long did you play hockey? When did you quit?
Well, I was young. Like I was 11 maybe, probably 11 or 12. I started when I was like 3 or 4, you know, like everybody does.
Yeah, standard, around here. Like
well, I can barely skate still. Yeah, like it's embarrassing. I can do it. I can skate, but it's fucking garbage. You know? Like I'm not pulling any maneuvers out there.
Fair enough. Enough. That's good to hear a little bit of where you came from there. Carrot River. Is that in Saskatchewan?
It is in Saskatchewan, just barely. Yeah. You can't go a whole lot further northeast than that. And still there's further north, I mean there's Cumberland House and Orange, but like going further east, you pretty much hit the pop. I remember correctly, and that's Manitoba,
Mm.
whole different province, if you will.
Mhm. So Carrot River probably just has one high school.
Yeah, we just had the one high school and one elementary school, and yeah, it was fucking. It was actually a pretty dope place to grow up because fuck, we got away with a lot of stuff back then,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So what was it? Sorry to
I
interrupt.
we should elaborate.
We'll get into it.
I'm like wistfully looking back in time, 25 years. Hey, fuck, remember
We
when you
did a
could get
lot of
away with
things
that?
when we were kids. Yeah. Oh man, when I was a kid, it was just horrible. I used to throw things at cars, and I would
Yeah.
throw. My personal favorite was the paint grenade. Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, they
Yeah.
make those. I would
Yeah.
throw those in places they shouldn't be.
So did you grow up in Saskatoon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So what was it? So when you listened to punk music when you were 13,
Mhm.
what was it about that? What did you like about it? What did it feel like? What did it feel like a release?
Well, you know what? No, it felt like it felt like a really well-fitting sweater or something that I it was made for me. It was custom made for me. You know what I mean? It was the right kind of energy. It was most of it was at least a little sarcastic and kind of smart. And as soon as you started reading the lyrics for a lot of it, like Bad Religion or even Good Riddance, a lot of these like intelligent and
So
politically
you
minded
like the
kind of
lyrics
bands.
that they're political too, and
Well,
there's a bit of proper calibrated outrage to the music, not fake bullshit
proper
like Taylor Swift.
calibrated outrage.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Well, even a lot of like, cause I listened to. Okay, so when growing up, my mom was into rock and roll, so she always had like Meatloaf is like fucking one of my all-time favorites of all time. Like,
Yeah.
Bad Out of Hell is an absolutely
Yeah.
incredible album, and anybody who hasn't ever listened to it, because apparently there's people that haven't, go fucking listen to the whole album.
Okay.
Bad Out of Hell by
Bad Outta Hell.
Meatloaf. You will not regret it.
Okay.
And the B side is so
I
much
think I
fucking
actually,
better than the A
I
side.
think I actually have heard that. That's a super famous song, isn't
It's
it?
like like the song is,
Yeah.
and I mean Paradise by the Dashboard Light is, but there's some fucking cuts on the backside that are not like
The back
big
side of the
ones,
song, you mean, like the later
the
parts
B
of the song.
side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, got you.
Took the words
Sorry,
right
I'm
out
not
of my mouth.
I'm not a huge music head,
fucking
so I'm not into
fantastic.
the lingo.
Oh, sorry, cause I'm picturing the legitimate record, because that's
Yes,
what
I know you are.
know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's why it's like the
That's-
B side, the back side.
that's
What
why I
do you
was
mean, like
confused.
track 8? You know,
Yeah.
like what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly
The back
right.
side of what?
Yeah.
Does he love? What's in that coffee? Yeah. No, no, so like that, and like I remember she had like Quiet Riot and fucking Alice Cooper and shit like that, and so then I was already kind of into that, and then I got into like heavier like metal for a while because I just liked the energy, but it never really like the aggression was like, yeah, it was just not my type, you know. And then when I got with punk, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I'm more of a throw a brick kind of guy than a fucking smash 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 kind of guy, you know.
Okay,
So,
okay, yeah, cool.
If that makes sense.
Cool. No, I totally get it. Totally get it. I felt that way about, about hockey, probably, or maybe about math.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. Those
Yeah.
are just worlds that just as soon as you got into them, you're like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah. If there was,
Ah.
I would be a mathematician if there was jobs. Like
Sure.
that's kind of what I
Jobs.
do. Yeah, like I have an engineering degree, so that's pretty much what I did for my first little bit of my career, and then just made a little bit of money at that, bought properties, retired.
Atta boy. So if anybody else is paying attention again, fucking do that. Don't.
No.
If you guys want to see the opposite end of the spectrum, we just found out there's 10 years difference between us. I do not have a career. I sell meat door to door, and I used to be a vegetarian. Now I'm a huge hypocrite and fucking idiot, and I live in other people's basements. So.
Oh shit, dude.
We're done, right? This is over. This is over.
We definitely have a good 10-minute clip.
Fuck.
Oh shit. What was I saying?
No,
I totally
fine.
forgot what I was saying.
So you were emasculating me in front of your eyes. That's what you were doing.
Oh my god. I was talking about engineering, math. Yeah, so yeah, I did some engineering.
Well, that is interesting to me though. Like
Yeah.
mathematician. That's something that
That's
you'd be
what
like,
I like.
That's your shit,
The way
right?
that the way that punk music made
Yeah.
you feel,
Yeah.
math made me feel that way.
Well, see, and for me, like clearly, like if you consider yourself retired, I'm like, well, just be a mathematician in my head. You know what I mean? Like if you're
It's
worried
not
about jobs, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I can't be paid. Okay, well then
Yeah.
you're not being paid now. Do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I know I can think of one person off the top of my head specifically that would like love to be a librarian. Like I
Yeah.
just would love to do that. You know, I just
Yeah.
want to live in a
Yeah.
fucking live in a library. I'm like,
Yeah.
done.
Oh,
You can do
okay.
that. Let's go find a
That's a
spot. Like,
relaxing
you
job.
know what
I
I
wouldn't
mean?
mind being a
You know?
librarian.
Like,
If
fuck.
libraries, if you didn't have to read the books, I would be a librarian.
Yeah.
Like if they were all audiobooks,
Mm.
that would be more my thing. You know, I hate reading.
Not a big
Fucking
book guy.
hate reading. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe librarian isn't for you.
Oh.
I'm really sorry. This just reminds me. Get talking about selling meat. I was having this conversation with this customer about we had these like vegetarian burgers, and and which is odd for a meat truck, but anyways, I was explaining them to her, and she goes, well, I kind of like the bean ones, and I don't like this, and I said, well, these ones are great. I said most people find that they don't even really notice a difference. They taste so much like meat, and she goes, oh, I don't like meaty taste like that, and I'm like,
You're in a meat shop.
well, no, not, well, no, but like I'm driving around to her house. That's what I do. Is I drive around a little vehicle like the old Schwann's guy, but it's smaller and sleeker. And anyways, none of that's important. So I'm explaining the difference in these burgers to her, and she goes, no, I don't like that they taste really like meat like that, and I kind of prefer that they're beans, and I don't really like the bun, and I'm like, I don't think you like a burger, lady. Like by the time we get to the end of this, I'm like, you keep being like, I want a burger. I'm like, okay, cool. This is like a burger, but it's got no meat. And she's like, no, I don't like that. Lose
No.
the bun, lose the cheese, lose the patty.
Just
Fuck,
go
you want a
throw a
salad,
can
I
of
guess,
beans
then.
on the oven already.
Yeah,
It's like
that's a burger.
yeah,
That's what I was talking
all
about.
you have is a meal here that's made of beans
Mhm.
to make it look like a burger with a veggie burger.
Yep.
Yeah, that the whole
Maybe
the
that is
whole
what she
movement
wanted.
the whole movement of that is something that's baffling to me. We could talk for hours just about that alone, I imagine.
Of like
The
transitioning
vegetarian,
to less,
the whole veg. Well,
yep.
why? Well,
It's
are you vegetarian?
well, okay, I was for like 6 years, legit,
Okay,
and
okay.
then just the last year, due to depression and self-loathing, I
Yeah,
haven't been
yeah,
as much as I would like to be. I still
yeah,
try not to go out and actively buy meat, but I'll still fucking
yeah,
eat it.
yeah. I mean,
And yeah, and I
meat
actually I
has
have a. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about that real quick. I know it's kind of a touchy subject for lots of people,
depression.
but I've no
I
well depression and the not eating meat because I
oh,
know
okay,
lots of
either
people as
one.
soon as I
I've
started
already
not
talked
doing it,
about depression up, so
it was like an instant like we have to fight moment, and like I kind of
yeah,
got to a point where like okay, this is how I explain it, and there's no real fight involved
yeah,
because
yeah. Let's talk about
it's
the
not
meat
a
thing. Yeah,
bunch of whatever. But yeah, okay, so for me it was a multi-part thing, and it was steps. I didn't just like boom, I'm not eating meat anymore. It was a gradual thing, and like even now I can still see myself going back to a point where I eat almost no meat whatsoever because I found so many alternatives to it for the things that I enjoyed, like burgers or chicken wings and shit like that. That I just like the texture, I like the taste, I like whatever. I don't really care what it is.
yep.
If it does the thing I want it to,
Hmm.
and like that Good Eats here in town,
Oh, I love that place.
I challenge you to find a better fucking chicken burger in the world than that one. It's
Yeah.
incredible, and there's no chicken in it. Surprise,
Interesting.
surprise.
Yeah.
You know, so with stuff
Do
like
you eat
that,
eggs? Did you when you were
well, I would still
vegetarian?
eat
Eat
eggs.
eggs?
Okay, so
I
I'm getting
love
the
eggs.
philosophy on that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So part of it was physical because when I was 30, and like I
Oh,
worked as a snowboard instructor actually for like this was my 20th year now. Like so I haven't done it
cool.
every single season,
Which
but
hill?
Wapiti Valley was like
Gotcha.
one of the big ones that I was there lots. But I worked at a Blackstrap before it shut down,
Yep.
and the little Kinsman Hill here in town actually is when I was doing lessons, and it was incredibly fucking fun. If you want
Oh,
to teach
cool.
your kids how to ski or snowboard, take them out there for an
Yep.
afternoon,
Yep.
and then take them someplace else where it's way more expensive and a much longer drive and a
Yep.
way shittier day. You don't have to have that first shitty experience on a
Man,
hill where it's costing you 6 times.
can you believe the lift ticket prices in the Rockies? You ever been like up
Oh
to the
yeah,
Rockies and stuff?
it's outrageous.
$100 a day.
Yep,
Come on.
it's outrageous.
Come on.
Yeah, and I mean,
Um,
I do get there's a massive amount to maintain with that, but like, yeah, it seems disproportionate, especially for the amount of people you're putting through.
yeah.
But what the fuck do I know about
Yeah.
running?
I guess they've got a short season, so
That's
they
true. Well,
got to
that's
get their money made.
that's a lot of people. Yeah, they don't think about that too. Is it does you really have? Well, and that's one thing. I'm just putting that out there too. Anybody's listening, Wapiti Valley, let's start getting something going where we can have summertime events out there. I've been saying this for 20 fucking years.
Oh
since
yeah,
I
and
got
like
that
some mountain
chairlift in.
biking, some mountain
That's what I'm
biking or
saying.
something.
Let's
Yeah.
make this like a three-year park because it's a gorgeous.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't been, even just go up there for a drive in the summertime. It's absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's
Just
right
as
by
good
the.
as Table, hey.
That's I
People
prefer
don't
the
know about it.
vibe honestly,
Yeah.
and like the chalet is really cool because it's
Yeah.
an old log cabin. Like it's all
Yeah.
built from real hand hewn logs, and there's
Yeah.
big elk in the fucking bar. You know, like it's a gem.
Mhm.
And any of my buddies from Saskatoon actually that always grew up going out to a table that I've managed to convince to get out there
Yep.
are like, well, this is just where I'm gonna go from now on. You
Mhm.
know, like not to speak ill of table. I
It's
still
better.
appreciate
Yeah.
having
There's
ski
like
hills in town. I got real connection to that one.
yeah. It almost feels a little glady. Like Table is just there's no trees. It's just big fat runs.
Mm.
Whereas Wapiti has a little bit of trees. Some trees you can kind of weave in and out of, so it makes you
They've been
feel
working
a
on
little
trying
bit.
to integrate that
Yeah.
more too. Yeah,
Yeah.
clean out some of the
Yeah.
shittier stuff so you can actually get in there and ride a little bit.
Yeah.
But Table has always put in a really great terrain park. If a person likes, you know, if that's your scene, they are
Yeah.
great for that, and that's something Wapi's been trying to work on. And
Mhm.
working with Propaganda Board Shop out of PA there, those guys are always out there fucking setting shit up and doing contests and really keeping it going, which is awesome.
Mhm. So you play poker
Every once in a while,
every once in a
I've
while?
been known to dabble.
Just with your friends, or
It's
you ever
well,
go to
I've
the
actually,
casino?
well, no, back in the big fucking poker boom of '06 there, whenever it was, when everybody was playing fucking Texas Hold'em. I remember
Yeah,
playing a
that
fair bit
was.
of
I
online
guess that
poker,
has.
and I lived with like 4 guys at the time, so like you could have a poker game every day if you wanted to. And my best friend loves heading out to the casino, so we were in Vegas actually one time for punk rock bowling. And he was very fucking into poker, so he's like, we gotta play in this tournament. And I ended up winning this one tournament. It wasn't big; it was 30 people or whatever, eh? But I was like, well, fuck, that doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an extra on top of an excellent trip.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I applied math to, and
Oh, to poker.
yeah, and had a lot of success with.
Well, it is. I mean, there's luck to anything, right? But I mean, there's so much more tactics and skills when you actually understand like how fucking numbers work. I think. Like I
Yeah.
had a buddy who was playing so much online poker, and again, it was. I don't know if you play much online poker, but you can
Nope.
play multiple table kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you can just play boss hands and hold everything else, and by just playing enough hands, eventually you can get deals
You can
where you
win,
get right
kinda,
back,
yeah.
and you can exactly. Even there's ways to make money without really playing poker if you have a system.
It's easier
Just
in
doing
person.
that.
In my opinion, it's easier.
Oh,
in person.
absolutely. You can't. Yes, absolutely. I fucking hate playing online poker for
Yeah.
actual money.
Yeah.
You get those 25-cent tournaments, and there's 10,000 people or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I got 6 hours to waste. I
Yep.
guess I'll just do this, and maybe I'll fucking end up in the bubble
I know.
somehow.
Yeah.
But playing, yeah, I can't play online for fake money or anything. People play like idiots. As soon as you're real life, all of a sudden there's consequences, and people are looking at their stack getting small. Well, then their shit changes, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Um,
fucking poker.
so what do you got on your hand there? You got a tattoo on your hand as well. I was going to ask you about some of your tattoos. What do you sort of consider?
Oh, this says hold fast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, I got that many moons ago.
Cool.
And that was like things sailors used to get tattooed on their fucking hands to get them to like hold on to rigging during big storms, so you wouldn't get washed overboard. The idea was to hold fast to your rigging so you don't get washed over.
So that's where that phrase comes from. Here,
And-
okay, hold on. Let me
yeah.
get to my. We've got lots of good stuff here. I'm trying to.
Wandering.
You're good at filling blank space, which I am not good at. So that's great. But let me just try to remember, because I had 14 good things I was going to ask you throughout that, and I forgot a
Do you
few
mind
of
if
them.
I like this?
Oh, not at all. Go
Okay,
ahead,
cool.
do whatever you want.
Cool.
So I wanted to do. Do you know what word association is?
Familiar.
Okay, so I wanted to do that with you a little bit.
Look at, I get that you're more educated than me and all, but come on.
No, I find that some funny shit comes out of that.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah, fuck. What do we got here? So yeah, I guess I was gonna ask you about some of your other hobbies other than, motorcycles, tattoos, punk rock. Do you have any other hobbies? Smoking weed, on the occasion.
I do greatly enjoy smoking weed.
Yeah.
Well, snowboarding, yeah, I've been
Snowboarding.
I'm a snowboard instructor for 20 years now, and I
Yeah.
got my ski instructor shit last year, so I could do it. And that, I want to get on another tangent here, but I had an incredibly great story that I actually haven't told on any other podcast
Okay.
before about exactly that.
Yeah.
So my last season of working out at Wapiti, I'd become a ski instructor, and I'd never really skied before. Kind of learned that weekend so we could do it, because we were short for filling the class.
Okay.
Fuck whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Gotta learn to
reluctantly
ski.
would take ski lessons throughout the year because
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
much more
Yeah.
comfortable on my
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
And so as I'm doing the year, there's this kid keeps coming out from Saskatoon, Harrison. Imagine he's not listening. You think he's fucking old is he? Maybe 6, maybe turned 7 now. Yeah. So he's
Okay.
probably not listening, but
Okay.
cool kid. His mom brought him out all the time, and I take him out. And beginning of the season, like he was just kind of learning, and by the end of the season, he could rip. Like any run he wanted to go down, he could go down comfortably, and he was just and he just was loving it, right? Well, and we had a lot of lessons. I mean, so we got to really build on stuff that he'd worked on previously. Whereas a lot of times, if you only get 1 or 2 lessons even in a season, you don't really get to go back and then refine what you'd worked on and then build on it. You kind of just do what you've been taught and
Yeah.
get kind of good or even great at that, but you don't
Yeah.
really get above that unless you're riding with people that progress you or you go back and take another fucking lesson and somebody shows you something different, right?
Yeah.
And when you're 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, that's the perfect time to do that stuff.
Totally.
So this kid, cool as shit, and ended up teaching him how to snowboard throughout the season. Well, then I get this other buddy, Roger. He comes out and he's in his 60s, and he'd never skied, and he wanted to learn. He went when he was like 15 and broke his leg,
Okay.
but his grandkids are really into skiing, and he wanted something he could do with them since his wife died because they couldn't go and do all the things they wanted to, and she just passed away the year previous. And I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, I get it.
Gotcha.
Well, and I ended up with him because one of the other girls didn't want to take him because they're like, it was like middle of the afternoon, and usually lessons are kind of done by then, and we're all kind of relaxing, and she's like, oh god, this guy's so old, like, what are we going to talk about, what dinosaurs were like? And I'm like, okay, I get it, I'll take him, so take him out, and he's like, he explains to me before we go out, he's got all brand new equipment. He'd spent 3 days kind of already doing work before he was coming out here for his 3 days, where he'd come out previously just to kind of scope it out, see what the place was like, because he lived in Prince Albert.
Yep.
And then he didn't want to kind of make the drive, so he got a place in Melfort where he could stay at. It was only about 20 minutes, half hour away, and then he could drive back and forth, and for 3 days he was going to learn how to ski. So he comes out on the first day, and I'm like, dude, we're going to do this, right? He'd been watching YouTube videos, he knew the lingo, he knew, like, he'd been scuba diving, seemed athletic. Get him to the top of the bunny hill, just eats shit for 45 minutes. Can't get down. He would stand up and he'd flop over backwards, and I'd get him up, and he was a big dude, man, like probably weighed at least as much as I do, and he was good, probably 4 or 5 inches taller than me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just getting tired of picking him up eventually, right? So finally we get down to the bottom of the bunny hill. He's like, I don't know if I can do this, and I'm like, no, I know you can do this. We'll take a minute. We'll go and chill out on the deck for a bit. So I sat with him for a bit. I didn't have anything to do for the rest of the afternoon, so I was like, we're just gonna keep this lesson going. So
Yep.
I'm gonna get you going until I get you down the bunny hill, and then we'll get you sorted out from there.
Yeah.
So we wait for about a half hour, get him back up there and bullshit the whole time and learn his life story, and then we go and finally get a little lap down the bunny hill, and he gets it so he can do it, and he's just stoked, right? So he's like, okay, well I'm coming back out tomorrow. Let's do another lesson tomorrow. I said, okay. So let's do that. Let's do it in the afternoon. I said, when you come back out, this is a fucking long story. I'm such an idiot. The point of it is way at the end of this. Oh fuck! Fast forward, Dusty. I ended up teaching this old guy how to ski in like 3 days, and he was really fucking excited about it. And by the end, he was really ripping. So, end of the season comes around. Harrison comes out for the day. Take him out for a lesson in the morning.
Yeah.
Comes back in the afternoon. His mom's here. I want to take him out for another lesson. I go, well, there's no point. I just taught him much shit in the morning. He hasn't learned that yet. Let's just chill on it. And she goes, well, no, he just kind of wants to hang out with you and go for a
I
ride.
think I figured out where the story's going. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just take him for some rips then, because I'm going for a ride anyway. So we rip down to the chair, and we're waiting. And it's a real busy day. And well, who the fuck do I see in line? We end up getting paired up with is Roger. So it's Harrison on the left, me in the middle, Roger on the right, and we're riding up the chairlift. And you guys can fucking hear how I talk nonstop all the goddamn time. These dudes, Harrison's 6 and Roger's 66, and I'm 36 at the time, which I thought was kind of trippy. And they're talking over top of me about their experience, about the runs they liked and which ones they were going to do, and how was snowboarding compared to skiing, and what was this, and I'm just like, kind of fucking made this happen. You know, these guys are 60 years apart in age, and they got this thing in common that, and one of them's going to do it for a very fucking long period of time, because once you start, you're like, well, I mean, I just rode with somebody who was just about 70 when I was 6 years old. I know you can keep doing it.
You can
right?
keep doing it. Golf is better for that, but
yeah, a little more longevity for sure. Less
you know where
plans.
I thought you were going to go with it, which would have been a good thing to lie about next time you tell the story, is just say that he was his grandpa and that he was learning to snowboard so that he could go snowboarding with his son, and then they ended up meeting at the hill accidentally.
That would have been amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they didn't realize it, and then they just see each other. I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah,
grandfather.
Exactly. Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mom said I couldn't see you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No, and then he kidnaps him, and I look like an asshole because I put him together. Like, no, there was a fucking reason we had to bring him a bad touch.
Then you got to testify in court.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again. Okay, another chairlift related testifying.
Yeah, totally. Okay,
no,
so a few more topics I want to touch on. Drugs. Are you for them or against them? Obviously weed. What about cocaine? What about other drugs? Do you believe in legalization of drugs?
I do, honestly. Like, I think, I don't even have opinions on this. Most of the science is out there. Any place that decriminalizes generally has much better results than people that continue to criminalize. That's just how it works. And I think that as much as
the addicts are going to find the drugs, whether
that's
it.
And I think as much as I don't like more government involvement in fucking everything, I mean having someone overseeing it that is accountable eventually to either voters or taxpayers or fucking however the whole system works is still better than some dude who's just in there to profit off it and doesn't give a fuck. You know, so and I mean, yeah, you start making it so it's legal and people can manufacture it and sell it in drugstores like you do anything else. Then
I feel the same way.
That's what you do. And I mean, anything comes out of the ground. In all honesty, I'm kind of like,
I agree with that, man.
Mushrooms,
marijuana, mushrooms.
Drink some ayahuasca. Go do that.
Ayahuasca.
Change your fucking perspective.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So many people need that. I wish.
I need it on a regular basis, honestly. Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't need it on a regular basis, but it changed my life when it happened. And every 5 years or so, it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder.
You.
Mushrooms. you put a few of those little plants in you, and you remember that life. You know, life doesn't go on forever. You know, these things show you the fragility of life, and that's really what opens up your eyes. And I'm okay. And it cuts a lot of the ego. Because that was what my biggest problem was growing up, was competitiveness and ego. And once I overcame that, it was the sky's the limit.
Interesting.
And
yeah, you know what? Okay, and that is interesting because I didn't know that I ever felt ego was a big issue, but perspective was a thing for me. Like
perspective. You got to be able to see things from other perspectives.
That's it. And I frequently would misunderstand what other people were seeing in me. You know what I mean?
And you wouldn't even realize you were misunderstanding while you were misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That's one of the bigger problems.
And a lot of it was positive. A lot of it was I didn't see the positive that a lot of people saw. You know what I mean? Like, what I gotta say isn't worth nothing. My time's not worth nothing. You know, like that's how I kind of thought of stuff. And then when I engage in places where that is of value, people fucking respond to it. And they're like, okay, I guess that there's something about that people do appreciate it. You know.
Were you in Carrot River? Was there much religion there?
Well, yeah, we had some churches and like It was well. I mean, we did have
Is
like
your family
Mennonite
religious?
community. No, no, no. My mom, she tried when we were little kids. Like
Did
we
you say
went to,
Mennonite? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
there was like
Oh yeah.
Mennonite community and.
My mom is a Mennonite. Not my biological mom.
Okay.
But have you seen any of the other podcasts yet?
I did tune into two of them. What was the one you were talking? Well, it was a really early one though, when you were messing with the fire a bunch.
Yeah. One of my parents is a Mennonite. Interesting shit.
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm just
so
saying.
so you're not Mennonite though.
No, no, I never practiced any sort of a religion. We went to Sunday school
Fair.
when we were little kids for
Sunday
a couple
school.
of years,
Yeah.
and kind of learned the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And then, but I had buddies who were, full blown Catholic and
Yep.
did the whole spiel. I don't know
Cool.
what parts are called, but they did all the parts of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did all the parts of being
Yeah.
Catholic.
So what was your first tattoo?
Oh, this is a terrible tattoo.
Oh, you don't have to like show it or anything.
Well, I could, but it's a. I have to take all my blouses off.
Yeah.
It is a Celtic knot of a green dragon.
Oh, okay. Celtic. What's a Celtic knot?
Doesn't mean a fuck. Like kind of like if you picture like an Irish knot.
Yeah.
Like the braided crosses and shit like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That kind of twisty turny.
Gotcha.
That was what it was described as, Celtic knot of a serpent, and it was the one thing. It's actually kind of a funny story, I guess.
Okay.
It was day before Y2K, so like December fucking 31st or whatever, 1999.
I have a story from Y2K as well.
It was my graduation year because I graduated in 2000.
I was in grade 3.
There we go, right on.
I have shit stories from every podcast. You know what happened to my wife? I'll just tell you the punchline of my story. I shit my pants again. I went to the bathroom and I went to go. So this is what I do when I was in grade 3 and I was a kid at St. Dominic's Elementary School in Montgomery here in Saskatoon. I wouldn't want to sit on the toilets, so I would squat above the toilet, and this time I happened to miss. And I ended up having to miss the Y2K party at our school because I ran away and I didn't admit that. And I had a bit of a feud with the janitor at the school because I would do all kinds of pranks and stuff, and he didn't like me. I'd climb up onto the school roof. And
he's gonna think you did that shit on purpose.
Mr. Davies,
you stepped it up a notch on me, boy.
Exactly. Like he's shitting on stuff. So Mr. Davies, shout out to you there, buddy. We had a feud, but I know we liked each other at the end of the day. Even when you picked me up against the wall, I knew you were just joking. That's funny. You wouldn't get away with that today, though, would you? That's the funny thing.
I remember some of my teachers being very physical with me.
He would joke.
Across
oh man, you can't be soft though.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, as long as you're not sexually, as long as it's not a sexual thing.
As long as there's no penetration, right?
Man, chill out.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite beer?
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, original 16. That's my fucking go-to. Or if I can't get that, if it's on tap and cold as fuck, it's like just a Coors Light.
Coors Light. If it's cold, if it's at peak cold, Coors Light is amazing. It is amazing. Fuck yeah. Great Western. I love Great Western here. It's pretty good beer.
Talking about beer.
Yeah. What's another good
beer? So with your math tricks, did you also learn mind manipulation at the same time? You just talked me into having a beer.
Well, I don't know, man.
So what is your favorite beer? Wouldn't a crisp cold one just cruising across your lips be something you'd love right now?
Well, I don't know. Some people said I could control minds with poker. I was pretty good at poker.
Good.
But I also have some bad experience with poker. What's that?
Maybe that's your superpower.
Maybe.
I had a discussion with a buddy of mine about this. He was like, "You guys talk about real life X-Men on your podcast," and I was like, "Cool. Any examples? Like, I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Well, no, like people that got kind of like superpowers,
Me and you would be a superhero where my superpower is I can't gain weight, your superpower is you can't keep weight off, and then we combine and we turn into an actual superhero.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, you could ride me around a little bit. Yeah.
We turn into two people, and then we're
not
fat or skinny.
Folds into it, eh?
We turn into a proper
like
weighted
an exoskeleton.
Yeah. So I know you. I know you guys. One of the episodes I watched, you guys were talking about meditation, which I think is a big part of a healthy lifestyle. Is it mostly Pat who does that, or do you do any yoga or any type of meditation?
I do meditate.
Or I guess is punk rock kind of how you meditate?
Well, it's interesting you say that because I think the concept of meditation or that same state you get to, you can achieve in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
So going to the gym.
Absolutely.
Hitting the fucking punching bag,
Absolutely.
listening to music, going for a drive, like
people don't realize that. They think it's hard. They think exercise is hard, but it's not. You find sanctuary in the pain a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, find something that works for you. There's levels
different
of
for everybody.
activity.
Some people like to draw.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like my sister. Yeah, she likes to draw. Do you have any siblings?
I do. Well, yeah, I do. I have a brother Marshall. He actually lives here in Saskatoon, and he's a fucking tech genius.
How old were you when you moved to Saskatoon?
First time I was 17.
17.
Yeah.
Cool.
moved here, and then fucking. Oh yeah, because when we went for our tattoos in 1999, I was still not even 18 years old at the time, and yeah, because I was only 17, and so we pulled a sneaky one there. But when you're getting tattooed in the garage, I think nobody asks too many questions.
Yeah. So you just liked you liked the
sorry, I do have another brother, Matthew, but he passed away last year.
Oh, okay, okay. When you get a tattoo, so I assume you have a tattoo for Matthew.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, it's actually funny. We actually have sort of matching tattoos. Because this is kind of a funny story. He phones me up the one day, and he had lots of fucking tattoos. And I've got one that I got on tour one time. It's just like a traditional kind of ship's anchor with the banner. It says any port in a storm. Because we're on tour.
From Good Will Hunting.
And double entendres up the fucking yin.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just kind of an old traditional kind of thing. And I thought that was great. So I'm gonna get that, right? So I got it, and then a couple years later, my brother phones me.
You have any port in the storm on your body?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that.
I've always had a fucking affinity for sailor shit. I learned how to sail when I was in high school.
So.
Buddy of mine, his grandpa had a sailboat, and then so he taught us how to fucking sail, and we would go and ripping around on it ever since.
Cool,
I was like,
man.
fuck, this is something I did in a previous life. Like,
There's
I enjoy that.
barely any electricity needed too. You're using the wind, using nature. That's what's really cool about it. Is it's a dynamic sport, but you don't have to use any.
Oh, and it's
money.
so satisfying. It's so satisfying when you get it fully engaged, and you're
never
just
done
like,
it.
Oh man.
My cousin Jason has a sailboat, but I went out with him once, but I didn't consider it sailing. We were just kind of what do you call that, trolling around with his little. Some of them have a little electric on there. There
Most of them
wasn't the right wind
in and out of marinas and shit, because if you just relied on wind to get
out
of a dock, you're kind of fucked. You'd have to paddle.
Yeah, we didn't have enough wind that day, so
Yeah, no, if you ever get a chance, go out and fuck, this is gonna get me off on another one. Anyways, start with the tattoo first. Because so Matthew phones me. He's like, hey, that any port? I said, no. He said, that I'm looking for a fucking tattoo on my hands, and I want to get a big anchor across the back of them that goes across both. And he goes, and I was thinking about getting that any storm. Fuck, why can't I spit this out?
Any port in the storm.
Mine says any port in a storm. He wanted any storm in a port. And I was like, no, that's wrong. It's any port in a storm. And he goes, well, no, I'm more of a storm in every port kind of guy. And I was like, that fucking is absolutely couldn't be more accurate. So yeah, by all means, get a storm in every port. So that's what he got instead of any port in a storm. Because he was a storm in every port. So for sure.
Yeah, he was an exciting guy. Lots of energy.
Always into mischief.
Yeah.
Always into mischief. He was a shit magnet. Like, like you frequently shit your pants. He was someone who would frequently, like, he would just walk into a room and like he wouldn't even know anybody there, and someone would be like, that guy, that's the guy I'm gonna fight, and he'd be like, fucking how?
Why are you threatened by me?
Yeah, but it would just continue to happen for him. But yeah, he was always fun.
Yeah. So I'm an addict of everything that I do. Are you addicted to anything?
Absolutely. I think anything that I ever get passionate about, I kind of get a little addicted to, right?
Me too.
Like, and I mean, then the addiction wanes. Like with snowboarding, it was like when I was younger, all I wanted, every magazine, I didn't know all the equipment, everything, blah blah blah, all the fucking time. And then now it's like it'll wane, and then I'll get back into it when the season comes around, and all of a sudden it looks like, this is kind of all I fucking want to do all the time, or bikes, or being in a band, like
keeping yourself
not jamming for a while, and all of a sudden you start playing music again, and it's fucking addicting. That sensation of creation with other people. Even doing this, like our initial plan when we did our first one, when we talked about it, was like, well, maybe we'll do
podcast,
4 of them. Podcast.
Show,
maybe we do 4 of them, and then we'll release the first one. Because then maybe we kind of got it figured out, how to get shit sounding good.
Make sure they're not.
And then when we did the first one,
like my first 4.
Oh,
anybody who's listening, don't listen to anything before 5.
Well, I couldn't agree more with ours, because it's like I'm still like the last one. I was like, that went great. We had a guest, everything was smooth. Then I listened to it. I'm like, I can only hear it out of one fucking side. There's this weird popping noise. God damn it!
Yeah.
Like,
I loved your joke. You made a funny joke on one of your. Or was that was your podcast? I think you posted it and you said, with a guest of a noise.
Now it's a background fan noise. That was Pat.
It was special guest, background fan noise. Dude, you had me screaming.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I think that shit's funny when you have like obvious flaws and shit like that, and you just kind of own it. You know what I mean? Like if you
gotta
walk
double
in a room
down.
and you got like a fucking tumor on your face and you try to talk around it, like everybody's looking at it.
I store my extra brain in here. You gotta double down. Yeah, that's a message to anybody out there. What else? Fucking crazy out there in the world right now with there's like social unrest. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, let's do that word
Well,
association.
I think it's always existed. It's just
yeah.
people are not tied to jobs that kept them wage slaves, so they can actually go out and say something.
Information has been becoming more and more prevalent, because of social media. More and more people have access to it. Just like the Bible, first only the clergy could read it, and then all of a sudden the regular people read it, and then everybody learned this, that, and the other. It's the same kind of thing with the internet and all the availability of that information. It's creating a new age with everybody having all the information at once. Politicians can't get away with what they could get away with before, those types of things.
Yep.
So anyway, let's do this word association. I just got a couple. Normally I do 20. I just want to see what comes out. So the trick is you say what comes to mind right away. Okay? Even if you don't want to say it, you say what comes to mind right away. All right, motor.
Penis. No, I'm kidding. Yes!
Fuck
as soon as
yeah.
you say that, I'm only going to say penis. Doesn't matter what you say, I'm going to say penis.
Nice. Man of his word. Okay. Okay. Hey, you're not looking at me.
That really made me. Yeah, you're a whole list. Actually, it's upside down. I can read his penis. Yeah.
Penis. One of the words on my word association. Penis.
That big Rorschach of a penis he's got there.
Okay, here we go. Band.
Money. Loss of is what I should have said.
Comfort.
Couch.
Sorrow.
Matthew.
Race.
Car.
White.
Supremacist. Jesus.
Oh no!
That's all I can see.
Blue.
Yeah, blue. Blue lives matter too. That's no. I'm fucking no.
That's that new movement with the blue thing. Yeah,
I
totally.
know. I get it. It's fuck.
Yeah. Okay. Age.
Cheese. I love a good aged cheese.
Line.
Sorry, lime?
Line.
Line in the sand.
In the sand. Black.
Fuck. I'm actually just picturing blackness now. Since you said that all I could picture was darkness.
Okay. Fuck and blackness. Fair enough, man.
Well, right, and that's kind of how I feel. It's like, what about black people? I'm like, fuck, where do you start?
Yeah.
Where do you end? I don't know, man. Fucking be better to everybody. Stop fucking acting like there's some sort of fucking agenda or people are trying to get more than you got or whatever it is. Just start being better. Start considering it as fucking people, man. It's fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. I don't know.
Okay.
It bums me
Fair
out.
enough, man. Yeah, that's some of that.
This morning
honestly, that political stuff. I've been getting into it too much because.
Well, sorry, and not even political,
sad.
like race. Again, on the last podcast we had, I mentioned we had a comedian on, Sean Cuthan, and I don't think he's
Sean Conahan or Cudahan?
Cuthan.
Sean Cuthan.
H-A-N-D.
Okay, sorry.
Because he's a native dude, right? So
cool.
Cuthan is what it sounds like. Wolverine is Wolverine.
You ever seen the movie Indian Horse?
No.
It's a hockey movie. I just watched it yesterday.
Anybody
the hockey
out there? Movie for the kid from the residential school.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's why I didn't want it. Shit just breaks my heart. I mean, I feel like it's definitely a great story to be told there, I'm sure, but I'm just like, all I can picture is the atrocity of it. I'm like, it's like watching a movie about the Holocaust to me. I'm like, okay, sure, there's lots of value in it, but it's so heavy, and I'm sure other people out there need to know the story, but I'm like, I kind of know it. I know what it is, and I already appreciate the fucking value, and I don't need to see a movie about it, but other people do. Other people should watch that shit.
Yeah, young people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And fucking people older than me and the same age as me, they just never engaged with it. Never had friends of a different race or anything like that. Because I mean, growing up in a small town, I didn't have friends of another race at all until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like intentional. It was just again through music and being in the scene and shit.
And even the white people, even the let's say the white people that you meet in a small town too, they're typically conservative. They marry somebody from their small town, that type of thing. Yeah. So you're not going to see a whole lot of diversity, even if your town is primarily a single race. You're not going to see a lot of diversity even in that single race. Whereas in a bigger city, you might see that, and that would help.
Well, and it's not to say that those places are necessarily full of prejudice or racism. There's just not understanding. There's not connectivity with it. Like you can
not an internet not good enough internet connection,
right?
Because that's where all the information is these days. Yeah.
Well, and again, if you haven't been so we had Sean on the other day, and he's native, and we were talking race a bit, kind of talking about being treated poorly by the police or whatever.
Okay.
And he'd even said, he's like, well, no, I don't really have any major instances that I can think of off the top of my head. He says, like I've been carded a few times or pulled over for no reason.
Yeah.
He's like, but it wasn't anything big. I didn't feel like I was harassed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's good that you had that experience. Whereas myself, I feel like I grew up in a small town. I got pulled over 3 times in one evening. You know what I mean? Like that's that kind of
small town cops. They can do that.
But I mean, what else are we doing though? They know we're up to something, so they're just gonna catch us eventually. In my case, But sorry, where I was going with this with Sean was we had that conversation. Not 20 minutes later, he's leaving the podcast, driving to work, and he's behind a police cruiser, and they're at a light, and it turns green, and maybe the dude was on his computer or whatever it was, but he wasn't moving. So Sean gives him a little honk. So they drive through. He pulls over, lets Sean go around, then pulls him over and gives him a ticket for stunting. Right?
That's crazy.
Or attempted to, or however fuck it all played out. I mean, Sean talked about it on his Facebook thing afterwards. We talked about it a bit, but it's like,
that's something already.
He's like, no, it hasn't really happened. I'm like, hey, give it till the end of the afternoon.
Well, at least he,
he said it out loud.
At least he hasn't been injured or anything like that.
Yeah. I know, and I legitimately do know people that were, even in my small town in the 90s. I know of a native guy from the next town over that got fucking worked over by the cops.
Yeah.
And like in handcuffs in jail. You know, like it happens.
Being a
it
cop
happens.
is
Everybody
so hard,
who thinks it doesn't happen, it happens. Oh fuck! I would never
You think the cops here in Canada should start wearing body cams? Because they don't.
I think accountability for everybody is. I think dentists should fucking wear body cams. You know what I mean? I think teachers should have body cams. I think there should be more accountability for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Teachers.
Fucking
Fuck
work,
yeah.
you know?
Fuck yeah. Why wouldn't they?
You know, and I mean, I'm not trying to be hard on teachers. I'm just saying anybody who's in a position of authority, there should be people keeping a fucking eye on you and making sure what you're doing is
not hard.
Like supposed to be done.
It's not hard to take video these days. There's a video camera on every phone.
Oh, I have no problem with that. And again, if you're on the up and up and you're doing it right, then what's the problem, right? And I get that we're all human, but then I mean, fucking make some changes so these people don't have to work so fucking much. Maybe these long shifts aren't the way to fucking do it. Like maybe there's some way to change the whole lifestyle around what being a police officer is, so that it isn't such a detachment from the community. Because I actually had a buddy of mine one time that I worked with that he wanted to get into the RCMP, and he tried a couple times and he couldn't, and he was really depressed about it. And he was at the bar one day and he was talking to this guy about it, and the guy's like, okay, so you want to really want to be a cop? He's like, yeah. He says, well, who are cops friends with? And he goes, other cops. He says, because as soon as you become a cop, well then you kind of get detached from everybody else you are, because they pull back. And I've seen it with, I had a buddy who was in a fucking excellent drummer, was in one of the bands that I was in for a bit, but he was in before me. He became a cop in Saskatoon, and I even saw it with him where like he was the same fucking dude he always was. I would run into him and still love the guy, give him a hug, fucking that's my buddy. Yep. But a lot of the other guys he hung with were not comfortable with him anymore because they smoked weed and it wasn't legal yet. And and they were still kind of doing what they do, so they didn't want to make him uncomfortable by being how they were, but they still didn't want to change. You know what I mean? So they just disengaged. So it wasn't like an intentional, oh, you're a cop, I'm not going to talk to you. It was like, well, no, we all kind of become uncomfortable because it's like, well, how much stuff can I do around you, and how much are you okay with seeing? And he was cool as fuck. Like I've heard also, I'm so glad I'm not saying any names. People can figure this out if they know me. But I know stories of him like pulling up to fucking parties at fucking small towns afterwards that he grew up in, and fucking like shooting a 12 gauge out the top of the car because it's hillbilly fucking country.
Well, don't worry about that because nobody listens to this anyway.
God, I hope so. No, I'm kidding.
So I was gonna. Oh shit! I had it and I forgot it. Oh fuck. Shit. I was gonna ask you a good question. I lost.
But anyways, I think if you can kind of change that so it doesn't.
There
doesn't have to continue to be this social divide outside of this already existing divide between a person in uniform and someone just walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
If it's more in community, and I mean maybe it's not like that for all cops. I guess I don't have that wealth of knowledge, but that's been my experience and what I've seen and what I feel would probably be the case. Once you get into a group like that, especially, it's hard to even want to be outside of it, because how do you talk shop or connect with other people too, right? It'd be tough. It'd be like being a plumber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to talk shop, you got to talk to other plumbers. Nobody else wants to hear that shit.
Yeah, totally.
No, another job I wouldn't want to hear.
I know, right?
Let's just list jobs we don't want.
I basically am a fancy plumber. Like that, I'm a civil engineer.
I guess, eh?
That's a fancy plumber. It's a fancy plumber, man. So yeah, good times. You ever chewed tobacco?
Tried it once, didn't care for it. So yeah.
Tried it once, didn't care for it.
Never smoked cigarettes either.
Hey, that's good.
Never a fan.
Me neither.
Everybody else around me.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm in Vegas, I'll just as a joke, I'll have a few.
Yeah, no, a cigar every once in a while.
Cigars,
but it's about I smoke as much weed as I do, but I still have like a very sensitive throat.
Sorry, what was that?
I still have a very sensitive throat, so every time I smoke a cigar, it makes my throat tickle, and then I
kick up. It shouldn't be touching your throat.
And then
smoking a cigar should stay in your mouth and out.
Well, then I'm doing it wrong. Once again, like everything else.
Don't inhale. Don't inhale.
So, I'm not a don't inhale kind of guy.
Oh, there you go. So how much? Give me your regimen. What do you need? Yeah, let's take a quick just take a quick pause here. Let's take a quick pause. I want to have a hoot too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm
It'll
just
be
gonna knock this
2
over.
minute break. I gotta take a piss. We'll have a quick break and I'll have a hoot too. We'll come right back to it.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, you need some of this?
What's that? No, I'm good. I was just gonna fucking
come on here.
jump. Oh, well, okay. I was just gonna dump my
Yeah,
ashes
just
on
put
something.
her on top of it. You'll be fine.
Dude, thank you. Oh, this is fun, man.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. Loving it.
Story.
Yeah, and by the way, I edit everything, so
That's cool.
anything you think of, I can edit it out at any
Honestly,
point.
as long as it doesn't seem weird and awkward, then I'm down.
Yeah. No, it hasn't been. Not as bad as my other one.
No, I don't think we said anything that would be outrageous. Penis.
Dude, that was a good one.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, see, like, and that's part of doing this podcast, too, is I want to get into fucking stand-up, and I think this would be a good way to do it by just talking to more
practice.
people and exactly trying to
Me
make
too.
people laugh. Well, that was part of dealing with my
I'm doing the
depression
same
too.
thing.
Is
You
like,
like? Oh,
I
okay.
want to make people fucking laugh because I
Me
used to
too.
love doing that when I was a kid.
Me too.
And then as I got older and got more fucking jaded and shit, it was like it wasn't as part of it as much. And now I'm like.
Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.
Canadian Talk.